masculine in the species. The evolved masculine understand that the nature of the feminine, she may have children when he meet her. And the evolved man is going to nurture and father them children like they his own. But the unevolved man is going to have an attitude with the children and become easily frustrated with them because they not his own. It's a difference. It's levels to this shit.
I understand, but we talking about gorillas or men, because you're saying the uninvolved.
The same reason, the same way you matched up the lions, I'm just showing you that the difference in the two species. The human species is above all that shit. But we don't want to accept that reality yet. We ain't culturally mature enough again. We have to remature back into the evolved beings we were when we nurtured everything on the planet, including the lion and the gorilla. Earlier, one of the sisters mentioned their uncle had always surrounded himself with a group of women.
I was just getting ready to say that.
There's something else that happens when you surround yourself with a group of women. You live longer.
Most loyal people, most loyal soldiers.
Look, we ain't even got to that part. I'm talking about the energetic difference.
That's a fact.
Right? The mitochondrial support from multiple women allows the man to heal from some shit that he wouldn't have healed from without her. A group of women, a group of balanced women are Tesla coils of healing mitochondrial resonance. This metaphysical science in the tribes was based on metaphysics. We move on the earth like the stars move in the sky.
See,
Wait, Apostle, let him finish.
Yeah.
It's all energy. It's all energy and energy management, resource management. As the gods, we ain't supposed to be walking around here trying to pretend to be animals. We supposed to do God shit. So I'm not finna go pissing on every tree I walk past like a dog just because I'm a man. But a dog gonna piss on every tree he go past to make sure a person notices his territory. The most I'm gonna do is stake a totem pole. Right? If we gonna be gods, we gonna have to do some God shit. If we gonna be mortals, we gonna have to do some mortal shit. But the first thing we got to do is figure out the difference in the goddamn two. You can't call yourself a god, you don't do no God shit. You're just a mortal who aspire to godhood. But you have the potential to become the God as soon as you realize what it takes to ascend to that level. Everybody ain't on the same level. That's why information goes through trickle down. I might be able to tell one person something, and I could tell an entirely different person the same thing, and they both, one of them understand it, the other one don't. The one that don't can go talk to the other person I talked to, get the explanation, and it makes perfect sense to him, but it didn't make sense when I told it to him. But I told it to the person that explained it to him. So now you see that the information has to go through a trickle-down effect. We playing Plinko with the knowledge. We just trying to get back to the balance of the nature in the human family by restoring the matriarch, because that's the natural structure of the human family, not because the women is better or not better than the man. Put the power where the power go, the machine run the way it's supposed to run, and we got heaven on earth. But if you keep the power where it don't belong, you're going to always have misery and suffering as a result of people inappropriately applying power to the wrong places at the wrong time, creating the wrong result. It's basic mathematics. Well, we all melanated. I know that much.
I think Comedian thinks there's a difference.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
look, the George Washington challenge is a challenge between chiefs and 32-degree Scottish Rite Freemasons from England, Spanish and French. This is what the George Washington challenge about. What side of the ocean you originate from?
That part.
That's the George Washington challenge. I didn't make that shit up. I just pulled it out the history books to show it to y'all.
Right.
It's the war between the two nappy head motherfuckers. The good had to suffer with the bad. And the pale face was the referee while he got his drop of blood in his reign of terror. We not the same people.
Mm.
Half the motherfuckers ain't got no soul. And you know the ones that ain't got no soul because they stuck on the same foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of righteous Moors over here. They all under Angel Bay. If they ain't under Angel Bay, then they're going to find out soon enough where the tribes stand with the dirty Moors. Because they got all their names on the ledgers in the Moorish consulate. In the list of the dirt they did. That ain't my house to clean up. I'm just here to tell the people the story and where to find the information at.
Right.
Right. So if you don't know what the George Washington challenge is, and you still barking nationality, you only half cocked. No, Drew Ali didn't say get a rudimentary Moorish education. He said get a good Moorish education. That means trace the motherfuckers back to their source. When they came out the Middle East from the Sinai mountains under the Babylonian captivity with their blood magic, sex magic, and money magic, moved across the northern portions of Africa, across the Iberian Peninsula, and moved into Italy and called themselves Etruscans. Then they changed their name again. They keep changing their name because they don't think we know how to track their dumb ass.
Right.
They tell us the stories. Half of them went up into settle in West Turkey and formed the Ottoman Empire, what they call the Byzantine kings. Right? So we know the difference in the people. It's just that the ones that's the dirty Moors don't never want us to resolve the matter definitively. We ain't no goddamn Moors.
Sounds like the Horabs to me.
Moor is a catch term to encapsulate two separate groups of people under the same phenotypical identity for the purposes of a conjure war.
I like that. I like that.
That's what it's all about. Feathers versus fezzes.
I never heard it like that before. I like that.
Right.
It's all in the imagery, in the iconography. They got the pictures of the Moors over in Europe eating the babies. They telling us the whole time why they kicking them out of Europe. You think they weren't gonna eat babies when they got here? Oh, they just stopped eating babies when they got here and started trying to pretend to be us and carry themselves like we do. They don't have the discipline and the internal fortitude to be able to assimilate all of the monotheistic religions they brought over here with them. They can't even follow that shit. And we became more Christians than the Christians, more Muslim than the Muslims. And we wasn't none of that shit before 1492. And now niggas want to stand up and argue that we some goddamn shit that wasn't over here before Columbus came and fight you to the goddamn death because you know who you is and it don't agree with the narrative that the settlers and the colonizers is forcing down our goddamn throats, telling us we came from somewhere else.
And
How
we'll
the
have
fuck
no
all our
problem.
ancestors know how to navigate the land if they ain't from here?
Interesting.
The fight for reparations is a distraction from all of the melanated people, no matter where they at.
Stop. Wait a minute. Hold on. Stay where we at. You're telling me that the fight for reparations can only be claimed by descendants of slaves. Is that correct? Yes or no?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the reparation, hold on, listen. The reparations program that's been rolled out to us is for the descendants of slaves.
Okay.
They have not rolled out a reparations for us to recover the land.
So
that didn't roll out from them.
Stay with me. Hold on. Stay with me. Let's keep it in buckets. Keep it in buckets. The fight for reparations is only for people who say that they're descendants for slaves. Yes or no?
Yeah, that's what the fight for reparations that we following is. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
That's the best question of the day, right? Because this is the reason why the American Indian is not the aboriginals to the land. The American Indian is paper genocide and the aboriginals to the land. The American Indian can be anybody that was rolled in under the Dawes Act. That don't got nothing to do with us. Our way is we cannot defeat them using their system. Our ancestors left us a system of redemption that I've been following for 5 years, and it's been working. We don't see all of the benefits yet because we coming out of a hazy period of trying to understand what's going on. The only way we can get our shit back is to go back to the great law, and that overrides the admiralty jurisdiction that's overlapping the land. All of that you see is these lands of demarcation that's established in states is the legal fiction in operation on the land. The only way we can overthrow them is we have to go back to the old oral tradition of the tribes, put everything out in the open for the rest of the tribesmen and the clans people to see. And the more of us become aware, then their system will automatically start to deteriorate. It's scheduled to close March the 1st. So I don't see any way for them to resurrect that dead entity this time because there's not enough of us contracting with them anymore because we becoming aware. Once their system collapses, the tribal system, we have to go around the land having leadership summits and setting up new boundaries and removing all of the boundaries the settlers set. And this is how we get back to what's ours, by following our system and stop following the system of the color of law, which they gave us under a uniform commercial code. And that's why they wear uniforms, to look legitimate, even though they're illegitimate. When you learn more information, it allows you to do better than you were doing before. Right? So those people that they call the Native Americans, and they not from over here.
But they
was giving them titles by the government that don't belong over here either. So you got two left feet trying to do a right foot dance. We're getting tricked by the money.
I like that.
The money has no intrinsic value in and of itself. It's only tied to contracts. And they allowed these casinos to be built in order to circulate enough notes to maintain the artificial currency and to artificially float the government. The money is a fiat currency. It's not backed by anything. It should be backed by gross domestic product or gross national product, but nothing backs the money. The US dollar is not backed by anything. You thinking that because they giving these people a whole bunch of monopoly money that they getting them currency, that they giving them real money. Real money is transferred in gold and silver. If these people are not collecting gold and silver and they collecting fiat currency, they not collecting money. They artificially floating the fractional reserve banking system, keeping them in power under the pretense of wealth. But the pretense is false. We got to get to the real money, back to the gold standard, back to the silver standard. If we don't do that, then fiat worthless piece of paper becomes our destiny. We don't want that shit. Fuck that.
Ron,
wipe my ass with it.
What do I do?
You need to contact the office in the diplomatic office in DC for Sierra Leone so you can fight for your reparations.
Look,
because the Africans reclaiming their shit. So if you one of them, then you need to be fighting for your reparations, like right along with them.
Yeah, well, I done had a delegation at my family union from Sierra Leone. Over 30 people, okay, came to my
I'm not arguing with that. I'm not disputing that. I'm just telling you that if you're trying to get reparations, you need to contact the consulate for Sierra Leone so that you can have a political body to represent you in your negotiations for your reparations. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what about my grandmother, Olivia? That's a Cherokee. Because I understand Cherokees are getting reparations.
Well, I have to ask you this question. Are you a matriarchal descendant or a patriarchal descendant? Meaning, do your ancestral
I said my grandmother.
Do your ancestral lineage pass down through your motherland or your fatherland?
I said my grandmother.
So then you can't fight for your Sierra Leone's reparation and fight for your grandmama too, because you're gonna have to choose.
Why can't I fight for both?
Because
they both are legitimate. Why can't
They both may be legitimate, but they only can pay out one claim.
Why is that? I disagree with that.
Well, for as the
you got a right to disagree. And I can help try to get us to understand that our ancestors left us a structural system that if we remember our culture, we don't have to ask nobody for shit. We tell everybody where they belong on our land. They don't tell us where we belong. They don't ship us off to plantations and call them reserves. Them people have nothing to do with us collectively. Those were people that was made native by presidential orders. That don't make them organic to the land. And so soon as y'all get that through y'all head, we gonna make progress at lightning speed. But the process is slow because we have to wake up a certain percentage of us to activate our mother line's matriarchal right to bring back in the great law at the close of the old age in the dawn of the new age. They told us everything, and I've drug all of the secrets out in the open because I was asked to by a series of chiefs that preceded me. Now, this shit ain't no secret no more. It's the cognitive dissonance and rationalizing the information that's the problem. Right? So I know what I'm doing to help us, but don't nobody else have to know. Because it might be, it's a possibility, it's above their pay grade and their spiritual rank in order to know what I'm doing. Because this shit is complicated for me and I'm actually doing it. So for somebody who don't have the same spiritual guidance to the same level, they might think I'm crazy for 20 years after they figure it out. Because I would have had to be crazy to see all this shit for what it is. Because the only sane person in the insane world is the crazy motherfucker. And all this shit is insanity to me. So everybody got different perspectives of looking at stuff. I don't mind people disagreeing with me. We ain't supposed to all have the same opinion about everything all the time. Or else we'd just be some go along to get along, spineless ass people trying to figure out our way and getting our head busted every turn. So we got to be willing to accept the constructive criticism, and the ones who don't understand, they're going to lash out because they don't really get it.